Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a new Stihl item I'm adding to my lineup, the BR350 backpack leaf blower. Kind of got tired of my small handheld leaf blower and a rake for the backyard. Decided to buy a bigger unit and well, share it with you guys, Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Let's get to it. As you guys can see, I'm just getting right into it here using the Stihl BR 350. It's comfortably on my back, and I'm moving a good pile of leaves here to the road. They're not really blowing all over and scattering too crazy because they're wet. It seems like we've had nothing but rain, and the leaves they're not dried out. So it's really putting the leaf blower to the test here, just trying to move them to the road. I noticed after moving them for like a few feet, the whole pile, they start to move a little better. And it's probably because the leaf blower kind of dries them off and they start, blowing around a little bit easier. I mean, this really does get the job done. After finishing the front and side yard, I decided to move to the back. Most of the backyard was cleaned up except for this spot in the corner behind the trampoline and those trees on the right. So I'm trying to blow everything around the trampoline and bring it up and around into a good pile. As you guys can see, with a little bit of practice, you can get these leaves in a pretty decent pile. Well, I had the intentions of getting up and shooting a little more video with the Stihl backpack leaf blower there today, kind of cleaning up the backyard. I got all those piles picked up and put to the road, as you guys already seen, but I wanted to do some cleanup. There's only one problem. These trees are probably giving you a little sign. Yeah. As you can tell, we got some snow. You gotta love upstate New York. I mean, it's middle of November. Heck, we even have Christmases with no snow sometimes. But apparently this year, we're going to get a bunch. All right, guys, so I figured I'd kind of talk a little bit more about the leaf blower here. You guys were able to see it in use there a little bit, and the snow we recently got. So I can't do too much more video on blowing leaves because everything is covered in snow. Now, at the end of this video, if you're willing to stick around, maybe I'll hit some snow with this, and we'll see if it blows it around. It is getting kind of packy because it's, starting to warm up. When I say warm up, we're going from like 27 to 31, so 32, somewhere around there. But this is it. This is the unit. This is the BR350. I'll show you guys the back of the pack here so you can see it. 350, the tank. Here is the handle. Now it's all kind of tough to see here. One shoulder. Here's our handle. Then you squeeze the trigger to go and blow the leaves, but it also has a lock, so you can hold the trigger down, push it up, it'll lock it on. For that finger fatigue. Apparently, I don't get the point of that. Maybe some of you professional leaf blowers will get it. Yeah. Then you pop it down, it comes back out. Now, another thing that's kind of nice is you can just push it down and it'll just shut off. Right here with your thumb, your leaf blower's off. One thing that I did find a little weird when messing around with this was there's no like actual on or off switch here in the back. So when you go to start this, you want to prime it like 4 or 5 times, and you take the choke here and turn it so it faces all the way down. Give it a few pulls, should fire right up. And then as it's putting along, you turn your choke all the way up, or as far as it'll let you. Basically, the choke arrow will be horizontal instead of vertical. Once it's horizontal, your choke is off and your machine's running. Something I did notice, though, is the BR350 needs to warm up. Let it kind of warm up, while you're getting it on your back and getting situated. And you'll see as you squeeze the trigger, you'll be like, man, there's no power Well, don't squeeze the trigger until you choke it out. Let it warm up. Just let it warm up. Don't bother with the trigger. Kind of, you'll see it'll blow some leaves a little bit for you on its own. Let it warm up, and then the power will come as it warms up. You know, as you can see, it's a backpack leaf blower. This comes in at right around 22 pounds, according to Stihl. And, you know, 22 pounds might sound kind of heavy, but when it's on your back, it's not bad. If you're somebody that's in fairly decent shape, it's really not that bad to blow around. One of these videos here, my wife's even using it. Here, I'll pop it up here in the corner. This is her just using the leaf blower out front just a little bit. And I mean, even she was telling me, you know, this really isn't that bad to use, you know. I also put it on my daughter's back. She used it for a little bit, and she was surprised at how light 22 pounds felt on her back. And it was easy enough for her to use as well. This blower is a 63.3 cc leaf blower and has 17 newtons of blowing force. The average air velocity, you know, on average is 167 miles an hour. So it's putting out some pretty good speed. To go along with that speed, again, like I showed you, that trigger control really helps. And this nice long tube, you don't have to really bend down. It gives you some good accurate control. With the long tube, I noticed I'm able to really like do a sweeping motion to get the leaves into a pile a little bit better. I like that. Now there's times when I've gotten close to the house or the fence, I need to get the leaves away. That long tube seems to really get in my way. So the nice thing is it just slides right out right here by the handle. I pop it out and just use the handle to kind of blow the leaves all over. And it gets them away from the house and away from the fence and whatever you're around. And then I put that back on and, you know, redirect. And that seems to be working pretty well. As I said, the average mile an hour for this is 167 miles an hour. It's forcing that air out. The maximum speed for this is 201. It kind of seems silly to say 201. I mean, maybe they're going to exact measurements, but I feel like 200 would have been fine. I'm not sure what that 1 mile an hour is going to do for anybody, but hey, apparently it tops out at 201 miles an hour blowing force there. So that's pretty cool. It does have a CFM of 436. It's cubic feet a minute that it's blowing air through the unit. I would say this really has the power and the capability to tackle any homeowner's job. At 63 cc's, blowing on an average of 167 miles an hour with a pretty good CFM, I would say this is a pretty good all-around leaf blower right here. Now, it's rated as the Pro Series, but it's a mid-range blower, so it's kind of like the entry level to a Pro Series item. Now, the Pro Series really start to jump up in the velocities and things like that. You can always look them up yourselves through stihlusa.com and check out the other leaf blowers they have. For me, though, this was kind of in the price range for what I wanted to spend and what I wanted to do. I'm not doing yard work professionally, so I felt like I didn't really need anything too much bigger than this. It's kind of a great unit for the homeowner, I believe. I think if you had anything more than an acre to do, this would probably be a little too small. For somebody living in town with a good sized yard, which I feel like I've got a pretty good sized yard here in town, this really cuts my leaf cleanup time down by like half. I mean, when I say half, that's from using a rake compared to using this. This works, you know, it just cuts the time in half for me. It's great. Now, we do have a BG55 leaf blower, and that's a handheld, which I've done a review on, I believe, in the past. I'll put a link up here. You guys could check that out. And I've also done a little carb work video on it as well. We'll have that video pop up too. You guys can see that. The BG55 is definitely a lot less power, a lot less cc's. It's just a smaller leaf blower, you know. And that works well. It does. It was getting the job done for us last year. And this year I just really wanted to upgrade to something bigger, something with more power, and that's where this 350 came into play. The one thing though with the handheld blower compared to the backpack is, well, it's in your hand, so you're making this sweeping motion here, and if you think about it, what's going to get tired? This elbow is constantly doing this, your shoulder, possibly your back, you're hunched over. it's got a lot of wear and tear on you. Plus, when you switch hands, the side that's sucking in as it's running sucks to your pant leg every sometimes, which a little bit of an inconvenience, but I mean, you can deal with it. It's not the end of the world. They will get the job done, but I think they're created for much smaller jobs and for a real small amount of use. Now, when you jump to the backpack, it fits on your back comfortably. You've got these padded straps, and the 350, like I said, being the entry range, you know, it's really basic padding. There's not a lot of craziness going on here. Now, when I looked at like the 400, the 700, and the bigger leaf blowers, the real Pro Series leaf blowers, they had some real different features that you could visibly see. You had some more padding here on the back, a little bit thicker straps. I want to say they said Stihl right on them, and the handle was different. You had a nice rubber grip on those, where this is just a plastic handle. But again, for the homeowner and somebody that's just cleaning up in the fall or cleaning up when a tree goes down, something like that, you know, this is really a great unit for it. The next step up in leaf blowers start to jump up in price, and I mean, if you compare this to a handheld leaf blower, this really is a big jump up in price. So it's kind of your decision on what you want to spend and what you want to do. You know, if you got a real small yard, you're not going to be doing a lot of leaf blowing, maybe a handheld is the best option for you. If you got a decent sized yard though, I'd say look into the 350. I mean, it really does a great job of cleanup. Also, just remembered, talking about small leaf blowers, Stihl makes a 200. So this is the BR 350. They make a BR 200 leaf blower. Now that's a backpack leaf blower, a lot smaller. I mean, a lot smaller in size. So it's got a lot lower CCs. It's a lower CFM, a lower wind speed, and all that. But it kind of takes the one from your hand and sticks it on your back. That's really what that does. It's kind of looks like a handheld leaf blower that you're able to put on your back and use. So, you know, maybe if you've got a small yard and the big 22-pound one here, which again I don't think's that bad, is too much for you, maybe the BR 200 is something good for you to look into. I can't review one because I don't have one, but again, you guys can check those out at stihlusa.com. They'll have them there. And yeah, that's really about all I've got on this. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informational and helping you trying to, you know, figure out a good leaf blower for your home and what you've got to do for cleanup and all around use. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, hey, before you go, I told you we're going to go out back and try to hit a little bit of snow with this. Let me get this thing on. Let's go out back, real time. Let's see if we can blow some snow around.